And my strong opinion in the Watts case is NK is involved. Well and truly up to her ears. Well, I have got some news for you lot. Okay? The delivery of this has to come out very carefully. It's very simple. Netflix. And this source, everybody, has crossed the tracks. Really? The delivery. All right. The delivery. How do I protect somebody who has shared something with me? Righto. Netflix. Was the catalyst that broke the camel's back when the Rusex were given a whole lot of gifts. Handbags, designer this, designer that. To share information. It was the Netflix documentary. Mind you, everybody, it was the Christmas before the Netflix doc actually was released, when all of these gifts were given. It's because of Netflix, and I know for a fact 100%, and I don't even need the proof of the evil people involved. I don't even need the proof that's in court documents and statements and on the record forever of a heartless woman who pretty much committed the acts. NK's involvement, according to the Rusex, was completely shut down because of Netflix. And you are just making up lies and bullshit. Well, I told a fib. I told a fib.
There are a lot of armchair detectives who are obsessed with this case. Did you see American Murder as an opportunity to tell Shannon's story from beginning to end and kind of set the record straight?
Here was Shanann, and then the internet had kind of twisted these videos, and she was like in a hall of mirrors, and this was the version that people were going to remember, because as time went on, you wouldn't talk about the case as much in, say, 10 years' time. It was really harmful for the family. When I met them out in North Carolina, they are obviously so broken. They've lost their only daughter and all their grandchildren. And Sandy described it to me, and she said, I'm on the floor broken and people are throwing spears at me. And I just felt like, okay, this film can't bring a whole new audience to this crime for them to go down that same rabbit hole, find these groups online and decide, you're right, in that video, maybe she did drive him to do this. So I needed to make sure the film had a moment in it to highlight that crazy notion. I feel like this is a feature. I've only got a certain length of time. And I wanted to make sure that that time was used as much as possible on Shanann. So even when I go to the trolls, they're in it for a tiny section. I don't want to give them much screen time. I certainly don't want to name them and glorify them or give their egos any bigger a boost that they made the cut. The other documentaries, there have been plenty of documentaries made about this case, countless YouTube videos, countless documentaries, but they're very focused on the details because they've got all the information. I feel like they haven't seen the woods for the trees. They're too busy looking at trying to solve the case when we know who the person is who did it.
It has been brought to our attention by somebody on the other side of the railway tracks, their side, that it's Netflix is the reason the Ruzek family changed their mind about Nicole Kessinger's involvement.
Some people call it nonsense, some call it lies, but because it appears in many different forms, I will call it bullshit.
That it's Netflix is the reason the Ruzek family changed their mind about Nicole Kessinger's involvement. Right up until that time, they all knew of NK's involvement. Then all of a sudden, along comes all the precious gifts that Netflix offers, and it vanishes. Really?
I am interested in telling her story. So it's her heartache, it's her achievements, it's her recognizing her failings and her flaws and trying to fix herself in order to fix her marriage. It is heartbreaking to go through this footage, but at the same time, you kind of feel like it's your responsibility to make sure that her voice is heard loud and clear throughout the film, because I think she's kind of been pushed into a back seat in her own narrative. And the other documentaries, there have been plenty of documentaries made about this case, countless YouTube videos, countless documentaries, but they're very focused on the details because they've got all the information. I feel like they haven't seen the woods for the trees. They're too busy looking at trying to solve the case when we know who the person is who did it. I want instead to focus on what she was experiencing, what she knew. So I let her story, her text, her messages, her letter is what guides the narrative. If she's not texting, typing and talking about it, then it didn't make the cut. That's why, a lot of the details about, say, Nikki, she wasn't privy to that information. She didn't know. All we did was show that she was right on the money. She thought there was someone else, and there was. If you don't go back to her text messages, and if you don't go back to her video diaries, then we're only left with Chris's word, and Chris is not a credible source. No. Chris, throughout the interrogation, is saying, we argued about the separation. His girlfriend is telling him that he's told Shanann that they are separating and that they're working through a divorce. None of these things are true. That he's falling out all over the place, and the best person to trip him up on all these lies is Shanann, and she was our best witness. Of course we should have looked to her. She knew what was going on.
Well, I told a fib. I told a fib.
It's pathetic.
The drama just never ends. It never, never, never ends.
Too busy looking at trying to solve the case when we know who the person is who did it.
And you are just making up lies and bullshit.
If you want to believe what he says, I wouldn't.
Other people's opinions, if they are presented respectfully and not ignorantly, we don't have an issue with. Got it?
Son of a cluck, mother clucker, cluck this, cluck that, cluck you.